Golair, and welcome to the Loaf of Bread GAA podcast, slicing into the GAA of the past, present and future. Join me, Jason Keelan, as we cut into the largest loaf of bread known to mankind. On Slice 6 this week, I chat to 4 women who are no strangers to the Camogie and football fields, and also several nightclubs around Ireland, as you'll hear. Pamela is one of the great GAA servants and holds a unique record in the sport, which you'll hear later. Mairead, like Pamela, recently stepped away from the county scene, having lifted the Jack McGrath Cup as Westmeath captain in 2019. Caoimhe and Sheila now hold the fort out of the 4 at county level and have shown that they can compete with the best for years to come. But first, let's take our usual history trip through the women's 4 homelands in County Westmeath. Bon Soltas. Today our journey brings us back down from Chrissy McCaig's Oak County of Derry, down the A29 and the N52 to my own home county of Westmeath. Today we visit 4 different GAA sites in the Lake County, which are well known in Camogie circles. In the eastern parish of Calucan lies a small village called Raharney, home to about 240 people. It is the last stop before entering neighbouring Meath. The name Raharney comes from the Rath Arna, the ring fort of the poet Aherna. Aherna is named as a poet under the court of Conchobar MacNassa, who, along with his own 2 sons, falls in love with a woman named Luna, but she is due to marry Conchobar. When she rejects them all, they write horrible poems about her, and she dies of shame. Aherna and the 2 sons hide near the River Boyne, but Conchobar and his men burn their home, killing them and the 2 daughters, Midseng and Moore. Today the Raharney ring fort remains as a small monument in the area. Raharney GAA has a proud tradition in Westmeath and All-Ireland Camogie and hurling. The club was founded in 1904 and has competed at the highest levels for the majority of their modern times. The old Raharney Rangers, a football club of the time, along with Thomastown, were the first 2 affiliated clubs in Westmeath. Local men Tom and Joe Marr and Peter Nee are considered the men who got the club revitalised as a hurling club. Their first senior championship title came in 1913, and they would repeat that the year later. After victory in 1919, the club would go almost half a century without another senior title. Of course, like many clubs, they started out with little money and relied on funding and the good people of the community. Back in the day, the locals applied to the Land Commission for a plot and even asked local priest, Father Farley at the time, for a loan. When they needed more land, the local farmer's price was considered to be too high. But the club prospered, and in modern times the Camogie team completed a phenomenal 6 in a row, while the hurlers have 5 titles in the past 15 years against the likes of the formidable Castletown Geoghegan and Clonkill. The club has produced some iconic GAA names over the years: Lynch, Weir, Shaw, Murtha, Nee, to name a few, but it's fair to say that the name Greville is one which resonates with people countrywide. From 1967 county final winner Sean Greville to the modern day household names of Johnny, Jimmy, Paul and Robbie, all are well known in both hurling and football, but today our focus is on Pamela, a Raharney woman who has dedicated her life to Camogie and is, according to incredible statsman Will O'Callaghan of Off the Ball, the only Camogie player to win games at Junior B, A, Premier, Intermediate and Senior, an historical feat befitting of her services to the game. In 2019, Pamela helped Westmeath win the All-Ireland Intermediate Camogie title and brought Raharney to an All-Ireland club final, only to be beaten in a replay by Kerry side Clonmorris. With her brothers Johnny and Jimmy alongside her on the sidelines as management for many years, it truly has been a family affair. She may be the queen of everything Camogie, but her teammate Mairead McCormack said in 2018 that she was the worst dancer on the panel, so of course we had to discuss that. And then on to one of their rivals, Castletown Geoghegan and Mairead McCormack herself. Mairead is, like my mother, and McCormack from nearby Streamstown, near an area known as the 4 Roads of the Nore, a spot once said to be Ireland's geographical centre. Her Camogie club, Castletown Geoghegan, is located in southeast Westmeath. This village was once home to the Geoghegan landowners during the time of Elizabeth I. The village is only a few minutes from the famous Hill of Uisneach, home of Ireland's most ancient festival, the Festival of Fires, and said to be the resting place of St Patrick himself. For horse racing fans, the famous Grand National favourite Oscar Time of the Wally Cohn family was trained in the area, while Epsom, Derby and St Leger winner Airborne was also bred in the area in the 1940s. Anyone who knows the famous black and amber of the club strip will notice a suspicious similarity to Kilkenny. Indeed, it was a Kilkenny railway worker, Mick Byrne, in the area who was responsible for the foundation of the club, hence the colours which still remain today. Despite disbanding, the club reformed in the 1930s and remain at the top level today. Both Castletown Geoghegan and Pamela Greville's Raharney have 13 men's county titles at senior level each. The club boasts such great names as Joe and Angus Clark, with Angus named on the most recent Joe McDonough Team of the Year, along with the likes of the Kirbys, Bulgers and Daltons, but to name a few. Then the McCormack name. As I said, my own mother is a McCormack from nearby Streamstown, the same area as Mairead, but so are 6 other McCormack families, including Mairead's, and none of them are related. In 2017, Mairead, along with sisters Edel and Joanne, all played as Westmeath lifted the Premier Junior All-Ireland, a huge day for the family. Despite her huge success with the small ball, it was football for Kilbeggan Shamrocks that was Mairead's first love. She played county from under 12 to the highest level, despite doing her cruciate twice before the age of 19. But in 2019, Mairead and Westmeath came back in the second half to stun Galway and claim the All-Ireland Intermediate Camogie title and earn a coveted place in the Senior Championship. They will go on to record a famous win against Limerick down on the banks of the Shannon, a truly remarkable feat for a team who were junior not long before. Now that Mairead, like Pam, has stepped away from the county panel, the focus remains fully with Castletown Geoghegan and Kilbeggan Shamrocks, and of course the dodgy knee. And then to the north of Mullingar and to a townland called Turin, home to St Munagh's GAA and Sheila McGrath. St Munagh is not a familiar name. This is because St Munagh is probably better known as St Fintan. St Munagh's Church is the main landmark of the area, a 15th century building which features one of the few remaining French designs of grotesque statues known as a Sheila na gig. On the playing field, McCabe Park in Turin, the St Munagh's Camogie Club has a strong history, winning an incredible 13 titles in a row from the late 80s to the final defeat in 2001 to rivals Loughlin Gaels. The proud tradition of Camogie remains key in the area and has produced some great names, including current Camogie Association President Aileen Lawler, a dub who moved and played with St Munagh's, winning 18 titles in 19 years. All-Ireland hurling referee James McGrath hails from the area also. The McGrath name is synonymous in the area for Camogie, with Sheila, Denise and Sandra all representing the club and county. In 2018, Sheila announced herself on the national stage by claiming the Division 2 League Player of the Year award for her performances with the county in the forward line, beating off strong competition from the likes of Cork's Kiva and Maeve McCarthy, among others. Sheila also lined out at midfield for UCD in early 2020 as they claimed the Purcell Camogie Championship. Sheila, along with the likes of Megan Dowdall and Ava Balfe, is considered one of the stars of the future for the team, and certainly has shown her worth so far. And finally to Loughlin Gaels, the team who stopped Sheila's club St Munagh's from a 14 in a row around the time Sheila was being born. The club bears its name from the nearby Lough Lane, a small lake with 3 islands on it. Monk's Island and Nuns Island suggest linkage with the famous Fore Abbey nearby. William Smith, owner of the islands, found a bell in the lake in 1882 showing 2 Christian crosses, suggesting it belonged to St Fechin, founder of Fore Abbey in the 7th century. The replica of that bell can be found today in a well-known location. It is the sounding bell in the Dáil chambers belonging to the Ceann Comhairle. Founded in 1969 as an amalgamation of Collinstown, Rickardstown, Glenadon and Fore, the purple and gold Loughlin Gaels have had some success at senior level at both men's and ladies' codes. In 1996, the club's men's teams won both the minor and their first ever senior hurling title on the same day. Their last men's senior title in 2002 was perhaps the most epic. Castletown Geoghegan looked to have broken hearts with a goal just as injury time set in, only for the Gaels to score 2 in the next minute to snatch back victory. Among their Camogie ranks currently is one Caoimhe McCrossan, a nominee for the 2017 Junior Player of the Year. The previous year, Caoimhe was a GAA scholar with DCU as she began her studies. In 2018, Caoimhe was named as Vice Captain of the county, with Mairead as Captain. Since then, she has been a firm fixture in the side, and was a dominant force around the middle in the county's first ever senior win over Limerick in 2020. She certainly is a leader for the future years. Certainly, the maroon and white look safe going forward. So let's meet the ladies. Raharney's Pamela Greville, Castletown Geoghegan's Mairead McCormack, St Munagh's Sheila McGrath and Loughlin Gaels Caoimhe McCrossan. Yeah, because she's retired, she thinks she can turn up late for training now, yeah.
Am I late?
Oh, mad late. How are you, Pamela? You well?
Great, how are you?
Actually, I'm not too bad, yeah. Thanks for coming on as well.
No bother. Mairead was very persuasive.
Yeah. No, except Mairead are trying to figure out if we're related because we're both, my mother's McCormack from Streamstown as well, so.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, except there's a million McCormacks out that part of the world, so.
There's quite a few, actually.
Yeah.
None like Mairead, though.
Oh, no, absolutely not, no. Well, here we are. The two who are late for training, do you have to make them do laps or what here now when these come in?
Are they there? Are they coming on?
They're coming in now, yeah. Who will I say is last? Will I say Caoimhe or Sheila?
I'll say Sheila. Sheilah's going to be
last.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll let Caoimhe in first. So.
I was saying, Pam, that it'd be the Scullies. If they were on here now, it'd be 8 o'clock by the time they'd log on. Oh, they're chronic.
Caoimhe's disappeared, actually, so I'll have to let Sheila in. So, yeah, Caoimhe's
Pam,
last.
did you take up the golf yourself?
Did I which?
Take up the golf yourself.
Me? No, I'm booked in for lessons when it opens up. Don't know how that'll go. I'd say I'll break a few clubs or something.
Watch this space.
Yeah.
Well, Sheila.
Hi,
how are you?
Good.
Hey, Cross.
Caoimhe's 10 laps after this, by the way. 10 laps. You were last for training, 10 laps.
I'm only back from laps.
Bollocks, sure. You don't look like someone who's out running laps now, so... The first question I've kind of asked everybody, I suppose, because part of the podcast is also history. I'm a big history nerd, and I'm writing a few kids' books for schools and stuff as well. It's Mairead, I suppose you're in the top corner of my screen, so you're the unfortunate one that has to go first. So, who were your influences in the GAA growing up, other than obviously all the McCormacks and Streamstown?
Yeah. I suppose I always, obviously from a young age I played sport, but when I started out it was football before I kind of played hurling or camogie. But Kieran MacDonald was always my kind of main guy. I loved him with the football. But I always kind of hear about DJ Carey growing up then as well when you go to the hurling section. Like that, I played underage hurling with Castletown until there was a camogie team. So I didn't really know that many camogie players. I'm brutal with names, really. When it came to the county section, I started getting to know names. But, I never heard of Pamela till I started playing. But she can't be my hero.
She's your hero now, though, I should say, probably. So.
I'd say that, yeah. I feel better.
Pamela, what about you?
What about me now? Mairead's been saying she's terrible with names. I'm still terrible with names. So when I was growing up, I had nobody. All I was a competition with my brothers, basically. So the two women, there's 3 girls in my house. That's the 2 of them had gone to college when I was about 8, 9, say. So it was me and the 5 boys. So basically, we just killed each other, and then I just kept getting more competitive with them. So that's literally... where I got kind of driven from.
Yeah, kill or be killed by the sounds of it, yeah.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Sheila, what about you?
Well, I'm the youngest in my family, so I suppose my 4 older sisters played with my club team up the road, and I suppose at the time there's another family in our club in St. Munis. Everyone probably knows them, the Heffernans. Annette Heffernan and Kate and Mary, they were kind of the big girls in the club at the time when I was only starting really for St. Munis.
Caoimhe, what about yourself then?
I kind of have to say my mom, because if she listens, she'll kill me if I don't. But I was at every training session, I'd say, or every game that she went to. Myself and my brother were put into the car seats, dragged along to every game, every training session. So I kind of just grew up around it. I can't remember when I was younger ever watching, Camogie probably wouldn't have been on the TV, so I don't have any big stars from other counties, but I remember on the Gales team, Mary Henry. She was from Brownstown, and she was unreal, and she was just ahead of her time, and she had the longest strike I'd ever seen. And do you remember the old hurls? Looked like shovel.
Yeah.
I remember when I was younger looking at her, and she was just class. So probably her, Mary Henry.
Actually, Sheila, while I think of it, I got a text. I'm gonna call it one of our listeners. I got a text from one of our listeners that just literally said, "The McGrath sisters are an absolute force." I won't tell
Must
you
have
who
been your mother, Sheila.
Yeah, so I've got a few people texting saying when they heard you were coming on, but that was my favorite text that I got out of all of them. So yeah, so someone who clearly knows you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I won't tell you who it is. I won't give away the secret. So Johnny Greville was talking about how you went from playing the Galway second team and getting absolutely murdered in a challenge game to a couple of years later managing to beat them and then going on and taking on Limerick down in Bruff. And what was he the transformation, or what was it that has driven you so far in such a very short space of time? Like, because I was saying to Chrissy McCaig earlier, Schlott Neal, like that club between Camogie football and hurling has 50 something titles in a decade. And Westmeath is now, big thanks to you guys, we're now firmly on the map in Camogie. So was Johnny part of it? Was he the main part, or was there more to it?
I suppose I'm not sure what year it was. We won the All Ireland with Ger Jackson. Remember was it the All Ireland League? That was probably the first kind of win I've had with Camogie. And like
2014.
We got to a few kind of All Ireland semi-finals with Yvette Cully and Ger. But I don't know, I suppose Johnny just fine-tuned it. He knew the potential was in us and kind of got it out of us. I think that was his first game with us, that Galway game that we got annihilated. And I thought at the time, oh Lord, I think Pamela was thinking the same. What have I gotten into here?
I talked to him for about 3 weeks. So it's like, oh God.
But I do think he probably, he brought the level up, brought us to another level. He is a big, you have to thank him for where he brought us, really.
Yeah. I have to ask as well, while I'm on it, I just have to cross my mind, the famous you won't get a Jim Gavin out of me. How much abuse did you give him for that? Or you surely couldn't have let him away with that?
I'd say he still gets it at home here now. That's all I can say.
The rest he must have said.
We were all half cut after he said that, so no one
exactly.
We were all twisted at that stage. Like, we can't remember that.
Fair enough.
Drinking the champagne.
We had bigger things on our mind.
Yeah, no.
Let's face it, he was trying to take the attention away from us. Anyway, that's
Is that a common trend with him? Was he constantly like that, or was he?
I know he was trending on Twitter anyway on the way home. So the hashtag Jim Gavin,
That's right. Yeah, that was right. Was he the sort of coach that you got excited to go training for? Was he the sort of lad that you were like, I'm going to vomit after every training session, or?
That would have been more John Gilligan for me anyway.
Yeah,
right.
I think we can all agree.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
He was our strength and conditioning coach.
That's
so that wasn't pleasant. But Johnny, I suppose, he kind of brought when you went training, you kind of listened. He had a little kind of a plan for each training session to get us to the bigger kind of picture. So you kind of, I felt anyway, when you went training, you just tuned in, did what he asked you to do, and eventually we got there. So you kind of believed in him. That's me anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I loved going training, in fairness. Like, they were horrible. And like, I think it was Tuesday evenings, John Gilligan would have us out on the grass pitch in Shamrocks. And we'd be doing like 2,400 meters up and down the pitch. And like, you'd be cursing going, and you'd be nervous when you seen his white Passat in the car park. But once you did it, like, everyone was laughing and everyone was happy that it was done. But we had one year, he brought us to Lilliput. Mairead will remember Lilliput, right? Down the sand dunes. Oh my God. Nothing will ever be as bad as Lilliput. It was horrific. I measure all my training sessions against that evening.
I was going to say that. I'd be doing the running and all I could hear was Caoimhe up beside me. It's not Lilliput. It's not Lilliput.
No, I hated Lilliput so much.
It's fun. It's a good line that you used. You said, it was they were brilliant, but they were horrible. So he obviously got the best out of you, did he?
Well, like, he had no choice, because everyone had to finish it, and everyone wanted to finish it in a way. And like, no, he was so good. He pushed you, and he pushed everyone through the line. Well, it stood to us. Like, we've a lot under our belt because of them. So
paid off in the end. Yeah. Sheila, you were the 2018, I think it was League Division 2 Player of the Year. Is that your finest individual moment with the county, or?
Well, probably last October when Westmeath, 7 of us won the Soaring Stars, but obviously that when I went up to Crow Park that day, I really didn't expect to win that at all. Like, I was going up, didn't even buy anything new to wear. I just went up with my parents and one of my friends, and when we got there, we were late for the thing. We couldn't find our way in Crow Park, inside the place in Crow Park, and we eventually got there anyway. And then sure, we knew Gandhi was there. We didn't realise Gandhi was going, so we were sitting with Gandhi and a girl from Limerick. So yeah, I got called, or the nominations, whatever, and I remember I was sitting there drinking the wine, didn't think I was going to have to stand up or whatever. And then yeah, sure, I got called up or whatever, and then he started asking me about how did we get to the league, like who did we play during the thing, and I was kind of like hadn't a clue of what teams we played, and I was kind of looking at Gandhi for like to tell me the names of the teams that we were playing, but no, yeah, I got through it. And I remember actually that was just before my leaving cert, and we actually made great friends with Ray, the ref. I forget his second name, he's from Kildare.
Kelly.
And Ray Kelly.
Yeah.
So we made great friends with him that night. We ended up drinking in the bar with Ray Kelly that night and his wife. And then on the Sunday, Westmeath were playing Kilkenny, so this was on the Friday night, but I wasn't playing the match on the Sunday because I had my leaving cert. But yeah, he had to ref the match on the Sunday, and I think he was still recovering on the Sunday on that pitch in Clonkill.
For Brechin, we turned up anyway, so it was just the main thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds like a cracking night. Caoimhe, or any of you, I suppose, but Caoimhe, maybe I'll ask you. You guys fundraised for a team holiday in 2019, I think it was. Did it ever materialise? Can you remember?
2019.
Yeah, there was a fundraiser.
Sorry, my ears are all mad since last year it was a dud.
Yeah, I think it's 2030. I'm not sure.
This year we went on to Marbella.
Malaga.
Yeah, no, we went. Oh no, we went to Malaga, wasn't it?
Malaga, yeah.
Oh my! I said Marbella, didn't I?
What was the crack in Malaga like?
Oh my God! But you know what? That just goes to show you. That just shows you how good it was. I can't even remember where we went. But
do any of the rest of you have any memories of it either?
It was just like, I know, like, Johnny got us to the finals and everything, but I think something that helped so much more was the fact that we were such a team. Like, everyone got along with everyone, and there wasn't, like, it didn't matter who you'd find a night out. It just went on like normal. But yeah, the fundraising for that, I remember myself, I think Mairead were sitting in the Greville, really filling out sheets and trying to get prizes to everyone. I remember Frank Mullen put in or got a prize. What was it? A canal, a trip down the Mullingar Canal.
The highlight of everyone's life.
I was like, I don't know if I want to pull out this name out of this hat, but yeah, no, the fundraising went really well, and people were very, very generous. Like, there was so many places that gave in money from all around the county, so we're very, very grateful to them. Yeah.
And do you remember much, the rest of you, about Malaga / Marbella, depending on Caoimhe was in one place, you were in the other, obviously, so...
Well, Pam went out a few days earlier with John. Let's throw that in there. Head start. Yeah, she had to break herself in. But I remember myself and Pam and Aoife Higgins were sharing a room, and we were out the first night. And the next morning we woke up, and Pam was like, "Oh, I need food." I was like, "We'll go down here now, and we'll jump in." We were right beside the beach, like it was literally outside the front door, basically. I said, we'll go down here, we'll get into the water first, and that will cure us, and then we'll go for the breakfast. So I had spotted Caoimhe and Roisin and Scally and those out at the beach already. This is about 8 o'clock in the morning. So I had tricked Pam. I said, right, we'll go down and get into the water. So down goes, Pam runs into the water. I ran up to the bar and I got 2 cocktails. There wasn't a breakfast to the next morning. That was it. It was down in the beach drinking cocktails the whole time. Like there was literally holes. There was our own sand dunes nearly by the end of the holiday where we just plonked ourselves for the 4 days we were there or whatever. I was just, it was brilliant.
Did the getting out early help Pam? Is it like going out to training before everyone else kind of job? Or
I thought, being an older folk of the team and that, build up a bit of a resistance to the alcohol, it didn't work. It didn't work.
That's the lie.
I think when you arrived, I was pissed. I was well pissed. I just tried during the day or something.
Had to scoot off for a little power
Pam is
nap
the biggest reader of us all.
I suppose I'll ask while we're still
Pam
chatting
is the
about it.
biggest reader by far.
Pam, you're definitely been out here. We'll keep that to the therapy session, I think, at the end of this. So I have to ask, since we're still on it, Pam or Mairead, the best night ever in Drake's or the Beach Tree, or is it hard to pick one?
Oh, it is hard. They're all kind of. We usually go to Drake's anyway. It usually starts up in Drake's, then into the Chambers, and then Mojo's. But I remember
snack box.
we were in the Chambers one night, and myself, Pam, and Johnny were the last ones leaving. All the rest were gone up to Mojo's, and Johnny now was on his last legs. He was barely able to make it out of Chambers, but he was adamant he was getting into Mojo's. So the three of us headed up anyway, and I didn't know Pam and those had left. Johnny wasn't able to get in. He was just end of the night type of job. So me and Pam had agreed that we were going to go home together that night. So next thing I noticed, Pam was gone, ran outside. Pam was at the Chippers, and she had ordered all her food for herself and Johnny anyway. So we were waiting for Jim Bob Baker to come and pick us up.
Brilliant.
Now I wouldn't mind. Pamela wasn't much better than Johnny, but she's saying she is. But anyway, we were there waiting, and I go, Pam, can I have something out? And Pam was, oh Lord, she was crossing me for even asking. But anyway, I was like, she was going then, take something. And I took a chip out of it, one single chip. Well, she took the head off me. Are you after taking the snack out of my snack box? I was like, what are you on about? She thought I took the chicken out of the back. And she walked off, tick off me. Oh Lord, I never heard someone to sulk as much.
You make me food.
I think it's a full therapy session. I think I'll have to run here. Geez, the two of you, Mairead and Pam, you're not going to. It's going to be a serious therapy session when I get to the last question here. Wait till you hear the last one. So, Caoimhe, what about would it be the Lough Lane Inn? Would that be your local?
That would be my local, and I do enjoy it. I go there with the club girls.
Yeah.
But I'd say with the county girls more so, myself and Roisin Scally, we frequent the wood.
Oh yeah.
Murray's,
Yeah.
Frequent.
That's a lovely
I love that word.
spot.
Yeah.
And we'd meet Ellen Tate used to play with us when Jared Jackson was involved, and we'd meet her there in the wood and just have our few. But I think the Chambers in town, we always had such a good time in the Chambers, and they were always so good to us in there.
Yeah, I think that's the best spot.
Yeah, but with so many good nights in there, just out in the smoking area, it was just Westmeath. There was no one else in there, but it was. Just
I remember
so fun.
another night when we were in Mojo's, and the bowl Sheila McGrath down there now, herself and Jane Nangle were going around with 2 flower pots stuck to their head. They were like these concrete flower pots. Look at Siri's head and Sheila's if she's.
Yeah,
but I remember waking up the next morning. I didn't know what happened, but either Sheila or Jane had headbutted me straight into the head with this concrete flower pot. I had this lump on the back of my head here. I hadn't remembered until Sheila reminded me at training. She's like, remember me burying me with the flower pot? It's lucky Chucky or someone didn't chuck us out that night.
Where in the name of Jesus did you get a flower pot?
I don't know.
Simple answer, yeah.
It was in Dolan somewhere, I think.
Yeah, geez, that's
there's
there is flower pots in Mojo's on the outside of the dance floor, isn't there? They're big, aren't they?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
You think, Sheila? Yeah, I think it's like O'Mara's garden centre. She's going around looking for flower pots.
Mairead, in 2019, you were captain and goal scorer, and in 2017 you got to play alongside Adele and Joanne. Would you swap, or which I suppose was your finer moment, playing with the sisters or playing without the sisters?
I'd have to say playing with the sisters. It's nice lifting the cup and all that. That's I suppose a different kind of memory. But it's nice having Adele and Joanne there. Now Joanne was a sub at the intermediate final, but it was nice playing with them. And I suppose it was the first All Ireland as well. you know, when it came to the intermediate, we're kind of like, right, we've played in Croke Park now. You know, it was more, we wanted to win that time. Whereas the first All-Ireland, it was like, oh my God, we're in Croke Park. You know, so it's kind of two different feelings, but it's lovely playing with girls.
Yeah. Pam, I suppose you mentioned a few minutes ago that you're, I won't say old is what you call yourself, but senior member. Despite being only age 21 plus tax. So, you're, according to, I think it was Will O'Callaghan had the tweet up at the time, and you probably saw it. Apparently, you're the only Camogie player in history to win All-Ireland games at All-Ireland Junior B, a Premier, Intermediate and Senior. Would you not stay on and win the Senior now, no?
I'm going to leave that to Sheila and Caoimhe, actually.
Okay.
We might get them back yet.
But you're still working on it?
Yeah.
Have you any plans or...
Me?
No.
We just hold a pint of Bulmers for Pam
and drag
for
her along
every
the
training
pitch.
session.
This sounds like a Father Ted, you know, putting the bottle in front of Father Jack, you know, getting him along. That's what that sounds like. Well, sure. Look, if it works for
and if we just buy Mairead a new pair of white socks for every training, she'd probably
that's a good way of going about it.
All right, fair enough. I have to remember that. Mairead, is the knee is dodgy? Is it? Is there still a chance for Kilbeggan and Costa?
I'll play club. Yeah. I hope to play club anyway. Just I suppose when I got an operation there, and when they were in operating, they noticed there was just a bit of a hole in the patella. So it would have meant another operation, basically. That I don't think I'd be able for the standard of county, especially at senior now.
I love the way you
coming
say
up against the likes of Grace Walsh and all those now. I don't think the knee would be holding up. I could blame the knee anyway. Yeah,
I love the way you say just a hole in the patella, as if it's like, you know, something you put a bit of sealant on or something, you know. Sheila and Caoimhe, what's the future like going forward then?
I suppose it's hard to know if it's going to go ahead this year. Well, like, or when there's no real such plan in place. And obviously there's no management team yet, so it's hard to know when the proper plan will be there. But there's obviously loads of talent in Westmeath, and the younger girls coming through the clubs at a really high standard, like the younger girls that are, say, minor last year, that like there's definitely younger girls to fill those bigger roles.
Caoimhe, what about you? What's the future bright?
Definitely, like, I know, like, it's pretty dull at the minute because we don't know what's going on, but like, already, like, Fiona Keating took over from Mairead as captain, and already this year she's organised a physical trainer for us. We're doing our gym, we're doing our runs, and there's like 35 odd girls in that group, so like there is like a drive there to push on, and we want to do well in senior. Like, we didn't just win, like, we didn't progress to not go any further, like, we want to excel. But like, I just getting a manager, I suppose, like, so if any listeners would like to be our manager, like, that would be great. Like, I know there's big shoes to fill, but we want to go further. So like, when you think like that, we had 7 soaring stars last year, and I think 9 nominations. Yeah,
incredible.
Like, why wouldn't we be, you know, competing at senior? So I think it's really bright.
Yeah, no, it's a sign, I suppose, of the improvement and the way you've put Westmeath Camogie on the map. As I was only saying, as I said to Chrissy McCaig earlier, like, you know, you look at the men's club 15 this year, and the 2 midfielders are 2 Ulstermen in hurling, which, you know, years ago that would have been unheard of. And now, you know, Westmeath Camogie is getting 9 nominations, winning 7 awards like that. You know, before you came along, that was, you know, relatively unheard of. So yeah, maybe you've got a duo there in the top corner, left corner of the screen for management, no?
You know what? It actually beats some crack.
Well, with no running tonight, lads.
Yeah, Pam would just be like, come on, where are we going?
Yeah, training's cancelled. We're going out.
We're heading to Drake's.
Yeah.
I'd say Drake's would appreciate the training on the road outside. They'd probably love that.
Yeah, exactly. We'll start in Lilliput and we'll end up in Drake's.
I'm giving up. I quit.
Yeah, as soon as I heard the word Lilliput, you could just see Caoimhe's face just dropping. Like, no, I'm gone. I'm announcing my retirement.
Drake's.
Yeah, so looks like the 3 of you are going into management now. So, and Sheila, you're the only one left by the looks of it. So
yeah, Sheila, you're left. Yeah. She could probably do the 3 of us, like, do the job with the 3 of us anyway. Like,
Mairead, I have to ask you as well. You were desperate in Croke Park a few years ago to show your Gary Connaughton impression jumping over the bench.
Oh.
You thought I wouldn't think
And
of
my
that?
foot got stuck in it.
Yeah, do you want to tell us how that went?
Oh Lord, I'll never forget the actual fear of, oh my God, is someone seeing this? And looking up and seeing so many people.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a great idea. I just, the excitement got to me. But I didn't fall all the same. The foot got stuck in the bench and I tripped over it. But the other foot luckily landed on the ground first.
Yeah, but plenty of us saw it, just so you know. You didn't get away with it.
Yeah.
Just I had to mention it since
it's in the archives now anyway.
It actually was, and it was something I'd forgotten, and I was randomly looking through something the other day, and it came up, and I went, "Oh, I remember that," and I said, "I'm definitely having to throw that out." It wasn't quite the iconic Gary Connaughton moment, I suppose.
Definitely. I didn't clear it as well.
Final question I have before there's a quick fire round as well, and I'll ask you individually, I suppose, just a bit of crack at the end. Actually, there's two questions, and this is the one I was coming to a while ago. It's kind of for the two retired ladies, and this might be the therapy session. In 2018, Pamela Greville, you're getting called by two names. You know this is going to be serious. You referred to, in an interview, Mairead McCormack as the shittest dancer on the team. Does that mean now that Mairead is retired, it can give her a chance to work on it, or Mairead is Pamela just full of shite?
I think it could be the hole in the patella that was a problem. Like one of those bobble things you stick in a car.
Pretty similar, actually.
That's more me. Yeah, that's more me.
Well, you stop. Pamela wouldn't go near dance floor. She's inside Dolan's and she doesn't even see anyone dancing. Oh, don't you mind that?
Sheila, should I ask if it was after Croke Park and it's a night in Coppers, who is the worst dancer?
Well, I suppose the night we went, so the Monday after the All-Ireland, a few of us took a notion to get the bus there and bus up to Dublin, because we were in the chambers on the Monday evening. We were after being in the Greville for the whole day, and then we went down to the chambers and there was nothing really happening and everyone was kind of tired. Some girls were back to work the next day and girls were kind of like, oh, we're going home. So myself and Jane Nangle, we were living together up in Dublin, and we were like, let's go up to Dublin and stay in our house up in Dublin and bring a few other girls with us. So myself, Mairead, Pamela, Caoimhe, Jane and my sister Shauna decided to get the 10 o'clock bus outside Shaw's there up to Dublin. And on we rocked to the bus with the cup and drink and whatever, and we were all sitting in the back, and then we weren't that long, kind of just on the motorway there, and Pam and Mairead were passed out on the bus. And Shauna was like, I don't feel well. So we were like, this isn't going to go too great. So anyway, we got up to the quays, and the first place we went to was Ryan's, the pub. We walked from the quays up to Camden Street, and we went into Ryan's, and I think every excuse under the sun we just kept using to try to get a drink. We were like, but we won at the weekend, shouting at them to fill up the cup, and we kept asking them to put on our team song, Keep On Moving. And then
great tune. Yeah.
After there we went to Coppers after there, and I don't know how we didn't get kicked out of Coppers, because I think the bouncers had their eyes on us for the whole night in there. But anyway, we didn't get kicked out of Coppers, and then we ended up going to McDonald's. And we were in McDonald's and we had all ordered our food, and then next thing Jane comes again with a big load of food, and we were like, where did you get the food? Like, we only ordered it. And she goes, oh, I picked up a receipt off the ground and said to your man I was still waiting for food. So she got this whole load of food that she didn't pay for, and she was delighted with that anyway. So then we were like, sure, we'll stay in our house. But then Pam, Shauna and Mairead were like, no, we need to go home with this cup. It needs to go around to the primary schools in the morning. So Pam, Mairead and Shauna decided to get a taxi from the Keys down to Kinnegad
Jesus Christ.
that night.
And you're
Mother of
not
God.
It
That's an
It actually
expensive
didn't work
taxi,
out
I'd
that
say.
expensive.
Stop.
It wasn't really. Oh,
was. It
is
was
it?
120 or something, was it?
Yeah. I
But
think
sure,
so.
I thought it'd be more.
And me and Pam got another free night in the Greville.
We were knocking on the door of the Greville.
We were knocking at the door at like 6 a.m. We're like, hello.
You
I
really...
woke up in my college house. I was absolutely dying. I don't think I've ever been more shook.
Jeez,
I hadn't met my housemates. We hadn't met our housemates. This was the first time to meet our housemates. And how we met them was we were shouting in the letterbox to let us in.
Right.
Shouting in the letterbox, and one of the girls came to the door.
pot?
We were like, no, we didn't. One of the girls came to the door, and we were explained to her who we were, and we were dressed in all our county gear, and sure, we were meant to be up in Dublin for college that week, and we ended up, we didn't have any of our stuff up there, so I think we stayed in our county gear for the whole week up there. And actually Anna Weir came with us as well, now that I think of it.
Yeah.
And were you armed with hurls outside the door when you were shouting at the letterbox? Or...
No, we left all them behind. We didn't even have a cup. We just had ourselves. That was
Just
it.
about.
Did the cup make it to the primary schools?
Oh, we did. We got to all of them. Just about. We were
Just
there in
about.
body.
But yeah, just about. Yeah, that's probably the phrase of it all. Just about. There's a quick fire round I've done with all the guests so far, and I managed to do it individually with the four there are lads. So I'll try it with the four of you. It's just a quick fire round, a couple of questions. Caoimhe, I'll start with you. What's the best ground you've ever played in?
Oh, probably Croke Park. Like
Croke Park.
just between the back, like the whole coming in with your bus and everything, and into the class change rooms. So I'd say Croker. Yeah.
Deadly. What's the worst ground you've ever played on?
Shamrock's back pitch, I'd say.
Fair enough. Okay. Would you be a drive it long or pass it short?
Drive it long, probably.
Drive it long.
Crossball McCrossan.
Yeah.
As a supporter, would you be? I don't know. I think I know the answer to this one, but as a supporter, would you be the tay and hang sandwiches out of the boot, or would you be pre-match pub?
Pre-match pub. Bad, isn't it?
Sure, look. Most people have said that anyway. I dare to ask this question to the four of you because I don't know where this is going to go, but I asked everyone else the best night after a game.
I actually think it was the night that Fiona Levy had the house party.
Oh,
after.
fact.
Do you remember we went back to Fiona Levy's house? It was after we won the Junior All-Ireland.
Right.
I remember myself and Sheila McGrath were bet into the back of a taxi, and we thought we were on our way to Clucan. Before we knew it, we ended up in Kinnegad with no money to pay her. We didn't know where we were going. Only for Sheila recognised it. My sense of direction.
We were on the way out of Kinnegad, heading for Clonard, and the fog was really hard. And I asked her where are we, the taxi woman, and she said, "Oh, we're just heading for Clonard." And the two of us looked at each other, and Caoimhe was like, "Don't ask me. I don't know my left from my right." And I somehow managed to direct this woman back to Fiona Levy's house while me and Caoimhe got out of the car, and we were putting our hands into her handbag looking for coins and throwing coins at her. And then we had to knock on the door and ask Fiona for money.
That is brilliant. That is hilarious. I'll remember that one. Caoimhe, you can pick one: hats, flags, scarves, or headbands.
Really thinking about
it. Yeah, because a hat keeps you warm.
Yeah, fair enough. Are you a Marty Morrissey or a Des Cahill supporter?
Oh, Jesus. Defence.
Saying defence.
Marty. I like Marty.
Who's your favourite pundit? Favourite pundit on telly, male or female, from any sport or any programme?
I like Colin O'Rourke. He's very calming.
Okay, yeah, I'll take that one. The toughest team you've ever played against?
Toughest team I've ever played against. We played Tipperary down in the Rag, and they were such a physically strong and tall team, and we're not a tall team. I found them very tough, and I think it was a very warm day as well.
Okay.
Also Down. I find Down very hard to play against.
Okay. would you rather, if you had to pick new management, actually, this is handy since you have no management, you had a choice of Angela and Anne Downey or Brian Cody?
Oh, Brian Cody.
Oh, okay. What's the funniest thing that's ever been shouted at you or to you from the sideline?
I don't know, Mairead.
No, I just thinking of Johnny Greville. Fuck me.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm sorry if you're not meant to be cursing here.
No, you go ahead.
Myself and Mairead, where were we? We were down in Wexford, and we were taking off, and we were just sitting kind of like laughing. The game was nearly over. And I think someone did something silly.
Poor old Hannah.
Hannah Core, yeah. She fucked it up. And then Johnny just turned around and screamed to his hands, "Fuck me, pink."
And then it followed by, "Where's Jimmy? Jimmy!" And he was right beside him. He's like, I'm here, Johnny.
afraid to talk to him, probably, yeah. Right, I definitely remember that one. Caoimhe, if there was a GAA transfer market in the morning, who would you buy in for Westmeath?
Niamh Mallon from Down.
All right, okay.
Yeah, I think she's serious, yeah.
Okay. The best hurl maker.
I use a Cool Tech.
Cool Tech. Okay. That's a first. Haven't had that one yet. Studs or moles?
I use moles. Studs I find hard on my ankles.
Okay. Yeah. Sweeper or no sweeper?
Oh, have to be sweeper. Fiona Levy, the queen of the sweep. Unreal.
Best ever GAA player in your lifetime?
Oh, that's a hard one.
Look at Pamela waiting for you to say her.
Pamela, yeah.
She's just itching there, yeah.
Yeah. Two arrows just pointing over her head, just saying, pick me. I can come back to you now if you want, Caoimhe, if you want some time to think. Don't worry, there's no pressure, but Christmas,
come back to me. I can't remember.
Yeah, Christmas is coming around soon anyway, so look, I'll come back to you. Pam, I'll go to you next, the same kind of thing. So, favourite ground?
Crow Park have to be.
Crow Park. The worst ground?
Jeez, I don't know. Brownstown pitch in Westmeath.
Yeah, I feel bad saying pitch.
Yeah, no, so some of the lads actually picked their own home pitch the other day, which was funny. Yeah, which was pretty funny. Would you be more a short ball or drive it long?
Drive it long, I think.
Drive it long. The short puck out or the long puck out?
The long puck out.
Long puck out. As a supporter, the tea and hang sandwiches or pub beforehand?
Pub beforehand.
Yes. Said very politely. Yes.
Yeah.
Your best night or week or 6 months after a game celebrations?
I'd have to be Coppers that night, which Sheila was explaining earlier on.
Okay.
That was the most random, funny night of my life, actually. Probably.
Okay, nice. I'll take that. Hats, flags, scarves, or headbands?
Hats.
Are you Marty or Des?
Sure, Marty. You gotta love Marty.
Oh, yeah. Your favourite pundit? Any sport, male or female, any programme?
I'm useless at this. I don't know anybody. The only one I can think of is Ursula Jacobs, so she must impress me somehow.
Okay, fair enough. What about the toughest team you've ever played against?
I agree with Caoimhe saying Down, but also Kilkenny last year, and it was just a different ball game altogether.
Okay.
They were tough. Yeah.
Fair enough. The Downey sisters or Brian Cody?
Brian Cody.
Okay. I'm wondering if there's going to be the same answer for the four of you. The funniest thing shouted at you or to you from the sideline.
I was thinking that when you asked Caoimhe. I know the only one I can remember, so it obviously stuck in my head, is get on your fucking bike, Pamela, will you? So that's what I remember. And that's been shouted at me a million times. I'm like, oh, really? Am I that slow?
Yeah, I got to have to start making a list of these because I have to say I got a cracker. Eddie O'Sullivan, who's the fullback and the Uachtarard team that won the All-Ireland. His one was, it sounded like a Father Ted moment, to be honest. His manager, he went out the night before, came home at 7, had a game at 11. And the manager halfway through the game just turned to him and just said, Eddie, just walk off. All right, just walk off. You know, I'm not subbing you. Just come off. You know, like that's, yeah, that's kind of up there, I think, with that kind of one as well. If there was a GAA transfer market, Pam, who would you go for?
Who would I go for? Current player. Denise Gall, she's very impressive.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Best hurl maker? outside of Cool Tech, obviously, Caoimhe is here promoting Cool Tech. So
You've heard us from Waterford, and I don't know his name. I think it's Walsh. But they're great.
If it's a Walsh, it's from Waterford, I'd say, yeah. Studs or moles?
Moles.
Moles. Sweeper, no sweeper?
Sweeper.
Favourite sport outside the GAA?
I like watching golf. It's boring, but
I suppose you did.
Oh yeah, the golf club, 16 years.
Yeah. How long are you gone now? You're only a few weeks gone out of the golf club, aren't you?
Just a week and a half gone, yeah.
Week and a half, yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Long career out there. And then the best ever GAA player in your lifetime?
In my lifetime. Goodness me. Henry Shefflin.
Henry, the king himself. Okay, good stuff.
Yeah.
Lovely. Sheila, same to you. You've pre-prepared all your answers now. Yourself and Mairead have the advantage here. So, Sheila, your favourite ground? Mairead is shitting herself in the corner. She's like, half a clue.
It has to be Crow Park as well. I would love to play in Páirc Uí Chaoimh though. Just looking at the semi-finals there this year from the senior, it looked amazing.
Yeah, nice spot as well. Your worst ground, least favourite ground?
My own club, same one as Choran Pitch, wouldn't be great. It's probably up one at the top. But I'm trying to think places in Westmeath or even just challenge matches. Do you ever go to like places and you're throwing out to the backfield? I know, do you know Boardsmill? I remember playing Loreto Leinster final out in their back pitch, and when we walked onto the pitch, there was like sheep like wool on the pitch and everything. So it really was a field.
Jesus, that's a first anyway. I haven't heard a story like that before. Are you a short pass or drive it long?
Probably short pass.
Okay, the short puck out or the long puck out?
Long puck out.
As a supporter, stay and hang sandwiches or 6 months in the pub beforehand?
We all have to agree the pub.
Yeah, with or without flower pots?
Yeah.
Optional, yeah.
We leave them behind.
Yeah, I suppose go from that, your best night, the first best night that comes to mind after a game celebration wise?
I actually think this year when we won the All-Ireland in 2019 there, I think our actually semi-final after we bet down by a point, I can remember that night in Mojo's. I think it was one of the best nights in Mojo's.
Okay, fair enough. Hats, flags, scarves or headbands?
Hats.
Marty Morrissey or Des Cahill?
Marty.
Your favourite pundit on the telly from any sport?
I just think Joe Brody. I think he always has an argument to play. Like he'll never agree with any of the rest of them.
It's slow starting fights, basically. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
If you had a choice, would you take for management the Downey sisters or Brian Cody?
Brian Cody.
The toughest team you've ever faced?
I think I'll agree with Pamela. That Kilkenny game down in Kilkenny this year, I think it was just mentally it was the toughest game to play, I think. Okay.
Funniest thing ever shouted at you from the sideline?
I don't think I can't really remember any to me personally from matches. You know, I feel like when I am in a match, I'm that much in a zone that I don't actually sometimes hear what people are shouting at you.
Right.
Yeah, like pass the ball. She doesn't hear that.
Right, we'll take that. So it's the worst thing that's ever shouted at you, which isn't too bad. If there was a GAA transfer market tomorrow, who would you bring in for Westmeath?
I had in my head Denise Cole before Pam picked up, but I think another girl from Waterford, Beck Harton, I think she was very impressive when we played Waterford this year.
Okay, good. Best hurl maker?
Well, me personally, I use Brian Walsh hurls from Wexford. Okay. So I think them.
Good stuff. Studs or moles?
Moles.
Sweeper, no sweeper?
Sweeper, because I think it has worked well for us throughout the past years.
Good, yeah. The question I had to ask you to our lads, because there was plenty of abuse going, was how many sweepers did they need to cover their cornerback when he went missing? So we had a good laugh at that one. So, and you're the best ever GAA player in your lifetime?
I think I always looked up to Henry Shefflin. I think when I was younger, I always nearly thought he was the only hurler in Ireland.
All right, okay. I'll take that one. Yeah, sounds good. And Mairead, will finish with you since you've now found yourself a different seat by the looks of it in the house.
Yeah, my battery was going. It was taking him that long to answer their question.
Fair enough. Right, we'll fly through these, so at 100 miles an hour. I'll just ask you
boom, boom, boom. Here we go.
One giant question. Favourite ground?
I'm going to say Nolan Park.
Not Streamstown. That's shocking.
Oh, yeah. Not in the Valley pitch.
Yeah.
No, I go with Nolan Park. It was, just because everyone else said Crow Park.
Okay. I had to ask actually while I mentioned it. My uncle, referee Seamus McCormack, a Streamstown man, you said you've crossed him on several occasions. Has he hasn't shown you the line before or anything, has he?
No, he's pointed to it and threatened, but I never actually walked off.
Yeah, you just as long as you don't say him back to him, he won't make you go to the line. He'll point at it, right, but he won't make you go. What's the worst ground you've ever played in?
Maybe the Rag in Tipperary. It wasn't a great pitch. It could have been because it was an extremely hot day as well that I didn't really want to be there.
Fair enough. Short pass or drive it long?
Drive it long.
Short puck out or long puck out?
Long puck out.
The Tain Hang sandwiches or the boot, or from the boot of the car or the pre-match pub?
The pub.
Your best night you can remember after a game? You mightn't remember, but roughly.
Yeah, I think it's is it Scanlon's, or I'm not sure what the name of the bar is in Kinnegad, home from the All Ireland.
Yeah.
We stopped off there.
Coins,
yeah.
Stopped off there twice coming home after the 2 All Irelands, and those moments, those few hours there, just amazing. It's kind of because it's just family that's there at the time, it's everyone you kind of want. But it's a real Westmeath pub. I think it's Dennis Coyne used to be the chairman of the football. I think it's his pub actually. So, hats, flags, scarves, or headbands. We'll go hat.
Marty or Des?
Oh, Marty.
Your favourite pundit on any sport, male or female?
I think maybe Roy Keane.
Good. Okay. Yeah, he's come up a couple of times. All right. Yeah. For management, would you take Angela and Anne Downey or Brian Cody?
Brian Cody.
The toughest team you've ever faced?
Kilkenny as well. We faced them in the Leinster Senior. What year? 2019 was it? Yeah, in Nolan Park actually. So I don't know why I like Nolan Park pitch, because they gave us those stitches.
they must have bet lumps out of you in that game if Trevi picked it.
Fiona Levy actually got her jaw broken in the last puck of the game.
Yeah,
was it Denise Gall actually has taken a free, and I wouldn't mind, we were losing by probably 20 plus points. Fiona decided she'd throw the face in front of the ball instead of the hurl, and she broke her jaw. She fractured it.
And Fiona Keaton got hit here as well. Do you remember that? Anna Weir thought she was going to have to step into goals.
Yeah, do you remember Anna Weir went white as a ghost because she thought she'd have to go as a ghost?
She got hit on the side of the neck, was it?
Yeah, it swole off the ball. Yeah.
Jesus, that's a fairly bad place to get hit. Funniest thing ever shouted at you from the sideline?
I don't like that. I can't really think of anything, but I remember like that, the famous Lilliput. I wasn't long home from America, and Johnny, I went over for a couple of days over for Paddy's Day, and I was running up the hill, and I was nearly getting sick at this stage now. I think I was only back the day before, and Johnny just turns around and goes, "It's not Fifth Avenue you're on now, Mairead, is it?" And I just thought, if I punch him, he'll probably just throw, just tell me to go home. So I was like, no, look, I just kept running. I was like, oh, the Lord.
Yeah, brilliant.
So that's probably the worst.
Yeah, I'd definitely take that one. Yeah, it's just a different kind of sideline. If there was a GAA transfer market, who would you pick for Westmeath?
Probably Denise Gall as well.
Okay. Yeah. So I need to get Denise Gall on here then and ask her if she joined in Westmeath sometime. So who's the best hurley maker?
We'll go with Mourns.
Mourns. Okay, good. Yeah. Studs or moles?
Moles.
Sweeper, no sweeper? Or how many sweepers?
I'm going to say no sweeper.
No
15
sweeper.
on 15.
And the best GAA player ever in your lifetime?
I'm going to stick with Ciara MacDonald. Going to throw it back to the football.
Yeah, good. Like that. And Caoimhe McCrossan, you're still going. I still can't think of a player. Who is
I know he's still young, but I think he's brilliant. Tony Kelly.
Tony Kelly. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Tony Kelly, like.
Right.
That's a
Okay.
He never
corner foil or
disappoints, I
something.
don't think. Oh, please, you go away. I'm surprised you didn't say Dino.
Who is it? Who Dino? As in, is that Dean Rock? Is that?
Oh yeah.
No, Dean McDermott.
Oh, sorry. I was wondering. I was like, where are we going with that one? So, Mairead and Pam, there's no chance of coming out of retirement for one more go at it now.
No, not for me anyway.
No, I wouldn't think so.
I tried to do a fast walk today.
Right.
The time has passed.
We'll take that as a no then. Who would Sheila and Caoimhe, since you're still on the panel, who would you, if you had like a dream person to take over the job, who would it be? Apart from obviously the two women here who you'd love to have in charge, other than them, who would you like? Sheila, who would you take?
Davy Fitz.
Like
I'm just watching the programme at the moment, The Toughest Team, and I don't know, I just love his passion and that for the sport, and even Ireland's Fittest Family as well. He's just so passionate.
Well, thank God I'm gone, so I wouldn't imagine him roaring. Oh, I'd be saying, back in your car and off the Clare you go.
Is it not just Johnny Greville 2.0, no?
The same height, but that's about it.
Yeah, he is actually. David's a horrid short man. I met him at the All-Stars about 8 years ago. He's a horrid short fella. I didn't realise that because I'm not tall. Like I felt like a giant beside him. So it was great. And Caoimhe, who would you take? Who would you like in charge if you had the chance?
Anthony Daly.
Oh, right. Another lunatic.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Laughing on the sideline.
I think he's brilliant.
Yeah. I think you're really missing out not getting the two of these lunatics in the corner here to manage you. I'm telling you, they're fucking crack. It'll be newspaper headlines every weekend, I'd say, with the two of you.
Tell you, if anyone, when people listen to this, they're actually going to think, how did they win a match with all the drinking they've done? Like, this is spread out over many, many years. Every weekend.
Yeah. What time are the four Camogie players coming on at? Yeah. Is there before I let you go and just say to the four of you, thanks a million for coming on. I'm sorry I've taken up half your night, but I've absolutely, I don't know about you, but I have had the crack having the chats with you. Is there any other deadly stories you want to tell in the therapy session before I leave you go?
I have one, and I think
here we go.
We were all there for it, and it was in Malaga, and we were getting a team photo in the water.
Was it not Marbella? No.
Yeah, one or the other. We're going to Marbella next year, but and we were all getting a team photo, and someone asked Fiona Levy to run.
Oh yeah.
Asked her to what?
Someone asked Fiona Levy to run into the water, and she completely missed.
Oh yeah, she fell.
And she absolutely face planted herself into the sand.
Oh, we need to get Fiona Levy on here, definitely.
It was one of the funniest things I've ever, because we were all facing her and she just face first into
herself or something.
Buckled herself. Oh, so good. So good.
She's a teacher as well, isn't she?
Teacher.
Yeah.
Secondary school teacher, yeah. I'll have to get her on, ask her about that one, so I'll have to remember that.
Well, she's great for it. Yeah.
Yeah, lads, look, thanks so much for coming on. To the two ladies who retire from the county, the best of luck going forward with Raharney and Kilbeggan and Castletown, and I hope Drakes and the Beach Tree and all them are still standing in a couple of years. And Sheila and Caoimhe, Sheila and Caoimhe, the best of luck whenever we get back to going to a few matches and watching stuff. Fingers crossed, it's hopefully soon enough. But look, lads, I can't thank you enough for coming on. It's been one of the funniest hours of my life. Anyway, I don't know about you, so we'll have this up in a few weeks. And look, thanks a million for coming on, and I'll chat to you again soon, hopefully.
Thank you very much.
Not at all.
Thanks for having us.
Mind yourselves, lads. Take it easy. Good luck.
See you guys.
Bye.
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 Coming up next week on the Loaf of Bread GA podcast, we cut into our next slice.
I've two nicknames to ask you now, apparently, thanks to Sean. Honey Badger and Buzzer. Where did the two of them come from?
Buzzer. Where did Buzzer come from?
Sean hasn't a clue, so...
Yeah, I think it might be from Jamie Queenie, actually, maybe in 2010 or 11. He started putting like ZZER onto the end of lads' names, I think. Like you used to call, like that's how Jazzer, like we used to call him Jazzer, like Jazzer Queenie. I was Buzzer. He used to call Chris O'Connor. Chris O'Connor's nickname was Juicy, but he started calling him Juzzer. It was just stupid stuff that goes on. So I think that's how. I think Jamie Queenie's the man for that. And all the Meath boys still call me that Buzzer. It's the first thing they call me, like. So yeah, I've been called worse things than Buzzer, in fairness.
On Slice 7 next week, I have the chats and the crack with two legends of Meath GAA, Simonstown Gale star Sean Tobin and Longwood's Mickey Burke, better known as Honey Badger. We chat everything from Mickey's two nicknames to Colin O'Rourke, going to watch Meath under the legendary Sean Boylan, that fight in the square in Croker in '96 against Mayo, winning the under-16 Jerry Riley Cup, crashing mopeds in Thailand, mickeyburke.ie, and of course, I couldn't not mention Westmeath versus Meath in 2015. Don't miss it. Until then, Slánagí.